must be managed in a professional and business-like manner. It's got to be within the club guidelines. It's got to be, we have to use the financial approval process to make sure that I'm handling the money from the tennis side properly that way. Priorities are imperative, and there are 4 major areas that we have in our priorities. Number 1, customer service. Key. 2, maintenance and cleanliness of the club. Our instructional programs, what drive big dollars in our club, and then our image enhancement. Image enhancement is one of the key things that we have, in that when you're not at the club, you're a part of the club. When you're out in the community and you're out with your friends, you're still a part of the club and part of the AAC family at our place. Carmen's a part of our team over at the club. I have no worries about her being out in the middle of the night. Not much worries in the middle of the night, partying and getting picked up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But anyway, it is key that when you're off of the property, and that's one of the things we do. We represent the club in tournaments. We represent the club in a lot of different activities outside the gates of the club. That's key. Any questions? I'll email you this one since you won't be able to read it, but our departmental goals for success are driven by these items. And again, you won't be able to read this, but one of the main things that we do is we're always evaluating what we're doing. We evaluate our events, we evaluate our clinics, we evaluate our pro shop. We're always evaluating what we're trying to do and how we're doing our business, and assess it from there. We look at, are we productive with our events? It doesn't have to be from a dollar side. It can be from the numbers that come to a clinic, the happiness, the surveys that we get back, and those types of things. We're always trying to track what we've been doing and how we're doing it, to see what the trends are through the history. I'm getting ready to go through our budgeting process, and we'll start tracking what we've done over the past 5 years, not from a dollar aspect, but from an event aspect, as I start going and producing those budgets for our special events. Participation and then profitability are always in there. Last one, that's probably the hardest one to track, is the enthusiasm of the membership. Are they coming back and taking lessons? Are we losing people, or do we have a back door? Everybody know what the back door is? We've got new members coming in the front door. We have the members that may not be happy with us going out the back door. You want that door, if you possibly can, to be as small as possible. Sometimes it's not bad if you lose a few members out the back door to make life easier on the other. We also have a philosophy, sacrifice one for the millions. So, sorry. And then you have your goal setting. You have short-term goals, 30, 60, 90-day goals. We talk about our facility standards and audits, long-range capital, and then the development of our SOPs, which are our standard operating procedure, and then the development of the SWOT analysis. Long-term goals are your 2-year goals and on out. We, again, have the data and the programs. We update our long-range plan constantly. How many of you have a long-range capital plan? 3, 4. How many are involved in the capital planning? 3, 4. Okay. You younger pros are ones that are not in that position. Try to knock on their door or get with your director as quickly as possible and learn how to build a long-term capital plan. Life cycles, history, and those types of things if you possibly can. Okay, the big question. You have a SOP manual, standard operating procedure manual at the club. Dave, I know you have it. That's a tough one to keep updated. Every item needs to be, if you were talking about the best training tool you possibly can have, standard operating procedure is, how does this credit card machine work? How do I bill lessons? What do I do when a racket comes in to screen? And how do I get it out to the member in the proper way? It's a written document that states the steps that things are going to happen. And it's important because there's not as much guesswork then if you've been a part of that. went right over the short-term goals. No. Then we get to a SWOT analysis, and again, I won't ask you to raise your hand on the SWOT analysis, but we're going to do this in just a minute. If you haven't had a chance to do one of these, SWOT analysis stands for strength, weakness, what our opportunities are, and what our threats are. And it's a great document to go through and do it with your tennis committee and your staff, or I'll use the example again that most everybody that's heard this before have talked about. When I first got to the AAC, third tennis committee meeting we had, I said we need to start doing a SWOT analysis. Find out what our strengths, what our weaknesses are, where our opportunities are, and where our threats are. At that time, I did one with the staff individually, and I did one with the tennis committee in a meeting without the staff. And everybody felt really good about it until I merged the two, because the staff's idea of what the strengths were and the committee's idea of what the strengths were totally different. And it, one, I guess, hopefully, made them realize, staff, why they needed to bring me in to take over the facility or whatever to raise that. But it was an eye-opener for the staff. I've done it when I took over athletics at the club. I did one and did it with the fitness committee and the staff together. It wasn't harsh, but it was not as honest as if the committee had been in there by themselves and the staff had done one on the side that way. But if you get an opportunity to do one of these, it's read up. That's how I learned it. I just went online, started reading about what it was, what the procedures were to go through. It's very simple, but it gives you a list of things that you can work on and set your goals for the next several or the year or several years. Perception versus reality. You take, when I first got to the AAC, what the perception was from the staff of what the strengths and weaknesses were. After we came out of the committee meeting, what the reality was of what the membership thought our strengths and weaknesses are. And the membership is our customer. They're the ones that we got to keep happy, so we need to stay connected with them and understand them. Once we complete SWOT analysis, and this will be for the next year's PTA board here, we'll pick 4 things on a weakness, and we can work on those, and the 4 things on an opportunity and work on those and build. That's what we've done in the past. Take the top 4 weaknesses and go, this is what that I'm in control of, that I'm gonna fix. Or the top 4 opportunities also that we're gonna go after and try to make it our more successful program. And then you gotta follow up. Everybody understands SWOT a little bit? How many of you done a SWOT? I'll ask that. So that was now what we'll do is we'll go through, I would love to take the time to go through a SWOT analysis. Carmen, you want to write on the board for me? Please. She couldn't say no, or she could. So what we're first going to do is talk about strengths. And what I'd like to do is, since you all have been in here this morning from the conference, or even past conferences, talk about what are the strengths of this conference. So right, I'll look at myself. Strengths in this conference, and we'll list them. Go through them and list them down. This is interactive, people. So you can't just stand there. That'll start from there. Go ahead.
Great time of the year.
Great time of the year. That's a strength. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Great facility.
Facility.
Experience of
Speak up. Speakers.
You said price.
Somebody said price.
Price.
Value.
Value. Price. Value. What else?
Experience.
Experience for you guys.
Well, collectively, the experience that's in the room that's presenting, and the experience of hearing them, and the experience of networking and connecting.
Good one. We got speakers. Yeah, but the experience of the whole collective room. What else? Variety of topics.
Hopefully we'll be able to get Jordan Cole here to speak in Memphis, or at least back in Georgia again.
variety of attendees.
The variety of attendees, and also a strength is we're in a mecca of tennis professionals, so you've got a captive audience. That's awesome. Anything else? You have the leadership of USDPA Southern and Georgia. Okay, yeah, that's a good location. The organization, yeah, the organization of this event.
One more. The giveaways, the things that are given away.
The
gifts.
Giveaways, the vendors. You can say more than one. Anything else you can think of right now?
Club support for pros to get away.
Yeah, club support. It's opportunity for the pros to get away.
I got down, got the screen straightened out.
That's the
level.
yeah.
First presentation.
Okay, you want to move on to weaknesses? You can rip that one off. Weaknesses.
No.
Go ahead.
Well, location again, because yes, it's on this side of Atlanta, but what about the other side? So,
And you can have a strength and a weakness, or a strength and an opportunity.
Missed time teaching in most cases, except when it's wet outside.
Yeah, that's
getting
weakness.
dry
Is
now.
loss of revenue.
You're talking about weaknesses of
This event. It's okay. They've approved that we can say this. So it's. What else, guys?
maybe the date of last Friday was another conference, so maybe got too close to
Timing of the conferences. Okay. See, one man's strength could be another man's weakness.
maybe people don't have the extra money, not that it costs a lot of money, but you know,
Cost can be a factor. Sorry, I didn't get. What was the cost?
35 for me.
35. How many had to pay for it out of their own pocket? About a third. And the rest of the clubs paid for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming out, for those that had to pay for it out of your own pocket. It means a lot. Another weakness.
Some communication and sign-up processes, plus
Yeah.
just getting the word out to everyone,
Yeah,
emails.
communication.
I was gonna say, like, seeing new faces, because we all involved in tennis in Atlanta, so you see the same people, which is great. How we could reach out to the people that don't usually talk to these type of things.
That was the number one thing from the last one. I think. Communication, getting the word out to the director of tennis on the country and location. What else? What would be a better way? Well, then we talk about opportunities. Any other weaknesses? Juniors here? Younger pros? Juniors?
so programming is what he's saying.
Juniors program, yeah. You'll go home in the car and go, I should have said this. You'll think of things, and this is what we do. It takes a while, especially if you're with a committee or even a group of peers and department heads or senior staff to go through this. And the list can be very long, both from a weakness, strength. Everybody likes to pat themselves on the back.
How about new incentive to drive pros who haven't been here before?
Okay?
I don't know how to say that.
Incentives for new attendees.